Good evening all and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP and joining me in this fine Good Friday evening, my good man Mr. Ryan Clifford. Good evening Ryan, hope you're well mate, and start of Easter weekend pal, so what you been up to, what's been happening?
Just the usual, mate. Day job. That's all we do these days, is just work away, mate. But aye, try to get cover for the rain outside. It's no sunny in Glasgow anymore. If anybody who's all of a sudden thought Glasgow was back to Tenerife weather or Marbella weather, it's not the case. It's back to doom and gloom. But aye, it's like you says, mate. It's a good weekend for us, mate. Easter weekend, semi-final on Sunday. We're looking forward to it. Potential treble on the cards if we do get through the game, and obviously the game against Johnstone the last time, as Brendan mentioned, mate, about his presser that they know from the last game what they can do and what they're all about and what they can do better. So I think they'll be really kind of ready to go and chomping at a bit to get to Hampden, and we all know, mate, Hampden's no McDermott Park, so I think it'll be a totally different game for us. But I'm good, mate. Apart from the weather, it's all good, mate, and I hope you're very well as well. And everybody who's watching is having a good week so far, and hopefully Celtic will end the weekend very good for you.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a busy week for myself, hence the reason why this is my first and only appearance this week so far on this fantastic channel. The lads have been hard at it while I've not been here, but that's what I keep saying to these folks. The gaffer's got to delegate tasks to some of the staff nowadays, know what I mean? So when the gaffer's busy, the work, as Freddie Mercury says, Ryan, the show must go on, mate.
That's it, mate. We always need to take away, mate. But aye, like you say, mate, it's been a long weekend with the weather, and just I think people going to think I'm Michael Fisher or Sean Batty talking about the weather, but I think it's when you're used to a bit of sunshine, then it's all right back to this is where we stay. But like you says, been a long week, mate. But when you get Celtic on the cards at the weekend, it's something to look forward to, and that's what most of us, let's be fair, unless you've got other hobbies outside of football, the majority is all live for the football and Celtic, and these are the games that you've been a fan for, and let's just hope we can get the result to match the way we feel as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's what every one of us, to a man and woman, granda, dad, mum, anybody in your family at all who's that's what we all look forward to. And the games are coming a bit slower now, because we're now, as Ryan says earlier, we are whittling down now in the season. Some teams don't have anything to play for now. Some teams have got 3 trophies to try and win. As Charlie McGrew says, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. But as we said, hope everybody's well. We'll come to some comments just now, as we always do, in the live chat. And as I said, I hope you are all doing well on this Good Friday. Celt's on tour. Right away, he's in with poor Ida. I don't know if he's the premonition saying that one of us maybe going to slaughter a big man, but I think I know what he's meaning in terms of Rodgers bringing up Ida's situation and people putting 2 and 2 together and trying to make 54 out it, Ryan, and just making stories up just for the sake of it. David Mallon has joined us this evening. He says, come on, the pool. I'm not sure if that's Liverpool he's meaning, or he's on holiday and he's just about to go and jump in the pool. Could be the latter. Who knows? David, if you're still watching us, mate, let us know what you mean. Are you a Liverpool fan? Don't worry, son, you're in good hands on here. You'll never walk alone. As Chill Pill, he's on tonight. He says, I got a notification at last. What he means is he's put 50 pence on his phone now and he's managed to get a ping. That's what that means.
Update to the Lecky.
Our good man, one of our regular callers on the dial-in, Mr. Francis Lester, has joined us. He says, hail, boys. Good evening, Francis. Hope you're well. Francis. Joe Hart's bald patch. Big man's living it up with the head and shoulders. Shampoo and out. He says, hola, trips. Hopefully, that doesn't... I hope that's... No, because you're sitting in Spain, sipping sangria while you're watching us, you know. Hope that's not what it means. Francis Lester, DJ JP on the mic. I'm not playing your song, mate, so don't even ask. It's no George Bowie here. It's no, come on, give us a shout out, big man. That's not what's happening. Michelle Shaw, there's a new name. I don't think I've seen this name comment before, but good evening to you, Michelle. Hope you're well. Hey, well, boys, happy Easter to you all, and same to yourself and your family, Michelle. Thank you for joining. So, Stevie boy, how is that going? There we go. For anybody that wants to know, Stevie's the last winner of our bonus ball. Fantastic piece he got to take away. Didn't want to meet us though. He was trying to play hide and seek with us for a wee while. He was Big Alan sold more scratch cards about that day. Didn't he turn up, big man? So big man's that's where he is tonight. He's up in Scotbride tonight. He said he's gutted because he was trying to get in the shopping centre. The rain's just came on now, and apparently he just texted me there saying he's absolutely soaked.
He'll need to get his cone out then for his protector for his heat.
His dad gave millenary trainees against the ones that let in with the rain and that, so he's absolutely soaking. His feet are ringing, man. He says he's forgot to put 2 pairs of socks on again.
That are seating in his feet.
Aye, see I called. Remember the first time he had them? I called them his big special shoes.
Is that the ones the wee wheelies on them?
Aye, every time he clicks his heels, he light up at the back.
Pink lights.
Aye. The only boy I know that stopped a skateboarder beating his tracks, man. The guy thought he was stopping at a red light, wasn't he?
There's that guy outside playing the Scotto with the pink lights on again.
Aye, playing the Scotto. Everybody thought he'd a skateboard, wasn't he? It was a new Sketcher Heelys he's got.
That was the word Heelys, that was it.
Heelys, aye. George, good evening to yourself as well. Says good evening, boys. George. Good to see you again. And there's Kaiser in as well. Brilliant, man. The man with the AI computer behind him telling him all the big fancy words. Fan Dabby Dozy. And as he says there, 55. I know he mentions my name after it, folks, right? But he's definitely no meaning my age. So don't worry about that. He's no... Just in case anybody thinks he's talking about the age of me. I'm only 41. Definitely no 55. Before anybody else comes in with any silly comments, if you don't believe me, message the channel and I'll give you my date of birth. People are going like that. 41. No bother. What, in Doug years? I can just see it all in our eye.
Aye. 55 trophies, no anybody's age anyway, no mine or JP's anyway.
No, that's what he was meaning. 55 trophies.
If I get to age 55, then I'll be happy.
55 titles, that's what...
Aye. I'm 31 and trying to go to bed and it's getting worse, so if I'm 55, then I'll take that all day long.
I'm 41 and I look as if I was Davy Weir's Johnny at school. Go figure. Know what I mean? Go figure. I look as if I was a Davy. I look as if I was a Johnny at Davy Weir's school.
Davy Weir. Good player, right enough, but just a shame he played for him across the water.
Monty John's in tonight. He says, "Wait till you get to my age." What age are you, Monty John?
Is that in Doug years or is it the real?
No, I don't know if he's talking about real, but I'm interested to know what age he is. He was. I'm having a guess here, right? I think he was in the year above Roger Miller that played with Cameroon, remember? I think he's a year above him. What are you thinking?
He's doing well anyway, isn't he? Still alive and kicking, so still
doing all right.
Well,
he's doing all right. Famous 67, there you go. Fan Dabby Dozy.
2 more years and it's to the fabulous 69 you got on the half 10 show, Monty John.
You got on Ryan Soft-End show once you get to
I'll ne-
69. By the way, that's a free offer to all his
By the way,
subscribers.
here, there we go. I'll need to add. I'll keep it for the half 10 show, but I might need to get Monty John to do the seniors version for it, or the single seniors at what a wee shot.
Monty John's been on the dial a couple of times, and he's got that voice. Remember him for the X Factor? Alexander Burke. He's got that voice. He could do your announcements. Talk about that one. See when you go behind the curtain.
Oh, and aye, the X, aye. Alexander Buckman.
What's that called again? What's that called again? Is it Slabber Sesh? What's that one called again? The one you go behind the curtain?
Oh, I can't tell you, mate. I can't remember that.
Something along the lines. It's definitely something Sesh. I can't remember.
Sunday Sesh.
The Sunday Sesh, aye. That's when you're on a Sunday, innit?
Aye, all the people been out for a wee bit of hangover Sunday Sesh, cool, innit?
The Monday Club, that's the Blue Rinse mob that come and join you, innit, man?
I have a packet of blue bands.
Packet of blue ribbons and a packet of jammy wagon wheels.
Packet of jammy Dodgers.
Aye. 40 a big Alan on a scratch card like that. Oh, young man. MT Celts, evening gents, no notification, you were live. You need to do what Chilpil done earlier and stick 50 pence in your meter and you'll get a wee... Either that or put your phone in a Wi-Fi area.
There's a few people that have mentioned it to us, but it's nothing to do with us. If you've subscribed to the channel, there should be a thing for notifications and it should come up. If it doesn't come up, it'll be YouTube. It's nothing to do with us. I don't know what we can do, to be honest with you. I think it's just YouTube. Sometimes obviously I've subscribed to the channel. I know I'm on it, but I subscribe and it doesn't always come up on mine when I'm on here. So I don't know what else we can do personally. I think it's just through YouTube. We'll look into it to see if there's anything we can do, but unless it's something we can do for your end, I think it is just YouTube.
Yeah, it's YouTube. Probably your Wi-Fi as well, maybe. No, it could be because certain parts of your house, if you've not got a good phone signal at the time of when we do go live, it might not ping up on Andy's phone, or it might not ping up depending on what device you watch it from. Not blaming you guys. I was just saying that.
No, that's fine.
That's fine.
No, it's all good, mate. All good.
That's fine. It seems to happen quite a lot because there's John Shirley who comments regularly as well. Seems to always be on after the podcast, and he puts comments on like, you know, why are you guys not? Why am I the only person that's commenting here when he thinks the podcast is live at that time? So it might just be a case of that, you know, there's obviously something not quite right with the YouTube. I don't know why. I'm not too sure why the YouTube does that. I know what you're laughing at. Stop it. Right. Obviously, next up for the Celts is a semi-final, another semi-final that we've been privileged to get to. And I guess against a team that no long ago beat us in the league. So, what's your early thoughts regarding going into the semi? Because it's another fantastic achievement for the club, Ryan, to get to Hampden. I know obviously Aberdeen, they play Hearts tomorrow, but we take on St Johnstone on Sunday. So what's your early take on the actual fixture, mate?
It's good to get there again. Hampden. Personally, I think Hampden splits opinion I'm not a big fan of Hampden. I don't like the atmosphere. Getting there can be a hassle. Transporting it can be a hassle. Getting out the ground can be a hassle. Now the tickets thing, people are having issues with it and people are happy with it. So, but in terms of the semi-final itself, it's a big occasion for the club again. Another semi-final potentially to add to hopefully another domestic treble if that can be possible. But we can't be too confident. We can't be too far ahead of ourselves. We still need to do everything on the day to be the best we can and get through. Normally for league games, and normally I expect us to be entertained and I want the fast free flowing football, etc., etc. When it comes to cup finals or semi-finals, cup football is about winning. So people might think I've lost the plot here, right? But see if we win 1-0, JP, I don't care. If we win 7-0 and it's a brilliant day for us and it's fast football and aggressive, fantastic. If it's 5-4, whatever it is, as long as we win the game, it's about getting through to the final. You want to see entertainment for cup games, and every game at Celtic you want to see goals and things like that. But it's all about winning a game, mate. That's the most important thing. But I do think you might see a totally different game from the game with them at Park. I watched a wee bit of the warm up before we come on. Watched the pressers and that stuff. But it was Gordon Duncan, Marvin Bartley, Kevin Thompson, and the name escapes me, Scott Allen. And Kevin Thompson, even he says it was a totally different game. Celtic playing at Hampden, and the four of them basically says no disrespect in Johnstone, but they're probably going to expect Celtic to. Most people will expect Celtic to do the business on Sunday, and I think one reason is because it's not 9 times out of 10 in previous years we step up when it comes to these big competitions. I agree with Francis. We can't be complacent. You still need to go to Hampden and do your performance and get the victory. I don't think Brendan and the squad will let complacency come in.
Seems to be
I
one of
can't.
those things, don't it, Ryan?
I
But
I
obviously,
can't.
when we get to Hampden, we seem to
I
be a different animal under Brendan.
I can't see, as much as I've been critical the last few weeks about complacency, I think this is different. This isn't a league game where the squad again. I'm no giving them any. I'm no letting them get away with it because it's in the league, but because it's a cup game, if you lose, you're out of the cup. The big difference, if you don't perform well and you don't win, there's no treble, there's no cup final happening in Scottish Cup in May. There's no big day out in the end of May or middle of May, but I think it's the end of May. Aye. So that's something. There's a motivation now there. As much as people might think there's still a motivation in Celtic the league game. There's still motivation at 3 points. We've said all this, so it's not like we're going back on ourselves here. But
No.
because Brendan's mentioned that about because you're in the points total, there might have been a bit of complacency in the squad. But on Sunday coming up, there's been no complacency because it's a cup game, it's not a league game, there's no points, if you get beat, there's no it's all right, we're 10 clear, 9 clear, 10 clear, 11 clear, it's your out of the cup. And let's be fair, if we get beat after St Johnstone semi final, there will be a wee bit of backlash because we expect to win the game. And like Brendan says, the pressure, we are in a situation since he came into the club where everybody, the club, the fans, the full world expects Celtic to win every cup final, every semi, and that's just what comes with winning trophies and being a big club. So, but early thoughts, mate. Look forward to the game. I'd expect us to go and get the job done, and I think it'll be a totally different game. Considering, obviously, I know you've not really been on, mate, since the game at the weekend, last weekend, but if we start like that, let's see, game's a bogey. St Johnstone will need to defend that they've never defended in their life if we start like that. So, but if we start like anything like we did on Sunday, JP, then I think St Johnstone will be half time. We'll be thinking, right, let's just keep the score down.
Yeah. I want to clear up one thing just now. I've seen comments. As I've been busy this week, I've been on and off social media, and I've seen comments like Celtic must, or they need to do this, or they need to do that, or they must do this, or they must do that. There is actually Celtic fans out there, mate, that think even if Celtic weren't, now it's a possibility because obviously you've still got games to negotiate here. If Celtic weren't to win the treble, then the overriding feeling, as I seen it, would be the season's a failure. But let me get this straight right now. Winning anything in a season is not a failure. But to go for a league trophy, a League Cup trophy, and a Scottish Cup trophy, teams struggle to win one trophy. 1, 2 or more in a season. When by the way, another team who claim to be this greatest team ever have won absolutely hee-haw and are going to win absolutely hee-haw yet again, then I'm afraid if you think that's a failure, fair enough. I mean, I'm all for opinions, but to turn around and say those actual words, I think needs a long, hard look in the mirror, I'm afraid. Because this season, even if we don't win the treble, will not be anywhere near a failure. Winning a double is still a sensational season. So I wanted to be candid there on that, Ryan, because I couldn't actually believe some of the stuff I was reading regarding, if this happens or if that happens or if it's absolutely tremendous what's going on. We're in another semi-final, for goodness sake. That doesn't come very easy to other teams. Some teams get knocked out in the first round. Some teams get knocked out in the second. Celtic, how many years is that now we've failed to... So this will be I want to say, is it 6 in a row of being in the last 4 of this competition?
The last time I think we failed was the 10th season, isn't it?
Yeah, but obviously Rangers beat us as well, didn't they? They put us out the Scottish.
No, but I mean,
the year under Big Ange, and that was a semi-final. But I mean, we've not failed to make any. We've not failed to make anything below the semi-final.
Aye, since the 10th season.
That's frightening. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely frightening. Mm-hmm. In itself, mate. Teams can't even get past the first round or the second round. So, no. You're talking about the Celtics and Johnstone game. This will be a different game. The lads are spot on regarding the actual game itself. It will be a completely different game. St Johnstone are going to be on a bigger pitch. There'll be a different game plan as well. Celtic will be more expansive. You look at Hampden's a lot bigger than McDermott Park. And St Johnstone won't get the freedom that they got in the early stages of the game in McDermott Park. It was also a game, Ryan, if you look at it back, mate, Celtic could have scored at least 4 or 5 goals that day. And it was just one of those days that we weren't going to score. And as Francis said there, the Hampden pitch suits us to a T. It really does. Celtic seem to do well when they go to Hampden, especially under Brendan. Well, I mean, there you go. Some teams have even been knocked out with Queen's Park, and they're no longer in the competition. So that's, people mention the word failure. Jesus, Johnny. Look, Celtic's anything, in fact, Celtic's the polar opposite of a failure. Could you picture if we, the way some of our fans are carrying on, could you picture if we never won a trophy? What would they be saying then?
No, it's not. Wow. Winning any football game.
It's the hardest thing to do in football, Ryan.
What I say, JP, I played with guys that I played against guys, sorry, and I know guys still playing football at amateur level and junior, and some guys are still playing full-time football that I know, and they've not won much at all in their career. So winning trophies at any level is hard. Doesn't matter if it's Celtic, Barcelona, if it's East Stirling, if it's East Kilbride, whoever it is. Winning any trophy, you've made a divine right to win any trophy, no matter how much finance you've got, how much infrastructure, you still need to go and do it on the park. So it's not going to be a failure if if we don't get to the final. It's not going to be a failure if we don't win it. It's going to be a bit. That's a big chance to go on that treble. It's a massive
Oh, it's a
chance.
chance. It's a
But
fantastic
it's not a failure.
opportunity.
You can't.
To say the word failure, man, is just bizarre. It's the
Me,
most bizarre thing
me
I've ever heard,
personally,
man.
me personally, I've not seen that. So I've not seen stuff like that personally. I've not seen anything like that personally. So, but like I says, I'm not as active on Twitter as I used to be. I used to be quite on it a lot, wind people up now, but now I only comment on things now when I feel something strong on it. But I try my best not to look at some stuff on Twitter, and especially because people just, some of the things people write, not just Celtic fans, there's other fans out there that are just, some of it's just like, I know for your opinions, but come on, like, this is it's a time to be positive as a Celtic fan. There's no negativity in the club now. There's absolutely no negativity. Everything should be booming. We should all be singing off the same hymn sheet. Just prepare for the game. If we get beat, we deal with it. We'll deal with it once. If we get beat, if we draw, get extra time, penalties, whatever it is. If we win, then we celebrate. We deal with whatever happens after the game. You can't preempt anything. We just turn up, hope for the team do the business on the park, and then whatever happens after that, we deal with it. If it's a final, amazing. If we get beat, then we'll deal with it. If we draw, extra time, whatever it is, as I says, we'll deal with it. We can't preempt these things. Nothing's set in stone in football. We've seen Man U last night, down in the dumps, Leon celebrating that they've won. 5 minutes later, Leon are out. So, football, anything can happen in football. Bodo Glimt beating Lazio. I think Bodo Glimt have got €6 million apparently, I've seen, as a budget in terms of a wage structure. And they're in the semi-final of a big competition. Exactly, G-Doc. So, the word failures, no matter what happens in Sunday, or whatever happens in May, if you get to the final, if potentially that does happen, the disaster happens, and you get beat, failure should never be in any Celtic fans' resume. Shouldn't be in Celtic fans'
Mate, I
vocabulary.
honestly could not believe the things that I was
I've not
reading. I
seen
mean,
it
it
personally.
was the most bizarre. It was the
Mm.
most bizarre reading I think I've ever endured. Like, people actually believe that if Celtic don't win this treble, then this season's an absolute failure. It's totally beyond me how any individual can actually think that. It really, really is. Well, the thing is, right, I've seen this as well. Obviously, at St Johnstone, and we will pump them. I've seen that being said before, but you don't do your job right, man. Cast your mind back to the other weekend. You can get a bloody nose. It can happen in football. You need to turn up and do your job and try and do it to the best of your ability. St Johnstone aren't just going to roll over and hope Celtic tickle their belly. That's not what's going to happen here. But Celtic need to turn up with that proper mindset that they want to go to battle, they want to win their duels. Starting to sound like Philip Clement here. They want to play through the lines, play at speed, and really. But for me, Ryan, the way I see this, I think Celtic see the finishing line now, and I think Celtic can see. I've always said it, mate. When it gets to this side of the season, it becomes a business end of the season. This is when the cream rises, mate. This is when our players that we talk about all year round, all start rising to the occasion. Why? It's because they've been there and they know how to do it. They've got the know-how in order to win and win well. And when they do that, for me, Ryan, they're unstoppable, mate.
No, this is where your top players and top teams end of the season, that's when they win trophies. That's where they knuckle down and battle, and that's why clubs like your Celtics, Real Madrid's previous years in Champions League, maybe no playing well in La Liga, but they always pull it back. Like some of us, including myself, thought Real might still do it, but you sensed after 10, 15 minutes, the way Arsenal set up, they weren't getting by Arsenal. That's one. I'm not Arteta's biggest fan. I really don't think, until maybe now, I didn't think he would win anything properly, like league-wise with Arsenal in terms of winning the Premier League. I thought maybe for Arsenal to do that, i.e. Champions League, Premier League,
Oh,
they'd
that
maybe
was,
need somebody else. But that
yeah.
performance, to go to
They
Madrid,
absolutely annihilated
aye,
Real Madrid over the two
it was
legs.
the fact that he set up and he nullified Madrid, and Madrid had
Mhm.
to actually just put long balls into the box. That's all he done,
Yeah.
and that was due to Arsenal's set up play. So that's something that St Johnstone made actually do to us, just try and nullify to just get the balls in the box for us. Because
Mhm.
if he stop us playing through the lines and playing fast football, then they've got a chance. That might be the only way they'll stop us, is just setting up like that. But if it's Jota and Kuhn, if it's Jota and Maeda out wide, if it's either whoever, I personally think it'll be
Yeah.
the latter. I think it will be Jota and Kuhn. If they've got deliveries on the ball, then listen, it's going to be very hard for St Johnstone to defend it if the deliveries are on point. Just shows you anything can happen, mate, in football. But I do believe that it's going to happen. The big thing for me is the park as well. The park, as Francis says, it will suit us to a T. The wingers will have a lot of room to do their magic and create things and get the ball through to probably Maeda. It'll be, I know we'll get that at the end of the show, but I'm assuming it'll be Maeda. And even the guys like your McGregor's, Hatate, and Rio, I'm telling my team now, but just talking with us. But that's the sort of guys that will get the ball and play it out wide and get the space and give. I don't want to. It's no disrespectful to the guys in the middle of the park, but get the guys, the players that will do the magic for you, i.e. your Kuhns and Jotas, the wingers who are there to create the chances. And Hampden's an absolute. That's a glory. That's glorious for guys at that level. So, no, like you say, mate, you've still got to turn up. You've got to be calm, composed. Forget about how good St Johnstone are, how no good they are. You've got to turn up and do your own game. Obviously, Brendan will sit with analysis and he'll sit through everything. He'll look through St Johnstone, their strengths, their weaknesses, how they might combat us, how we need to combat them, as you always do, no matter the team. But I think everybody in Scotland knows if Celtic turn up, Celtic win the game. But it's turning up. You need to turn up in these games. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's St Johnstone, Aberdeen, them across the water, United, East Stirling, Queen's Park the final, whoever it is, final, semi-finals, you still need to turn up. But if we turn up in the same mood JP was that last Sunday, no matter who we are playing in Scotland in that semi-final or final, they don't win the game. So St Johnstone, if they come up against a team
Yeah.
that we
Yeah,
played on
100%.
Sunday, it's going to be very hard, mate. And I think even they know that. I think the St Johnstone fans are probably just come Friday out expecting to get a good performance if they can. They're not going to expect to win the game, but if they win the game, listen, it'll be party time in Perth for them. But I can only see one winner. If I'm being as respectful as I can, if we turn up, JP, then you've got to imagine that we'll go and do the business.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen this being said quite a bit as well. In terms of, Parkhead boy saying he'll start with a team that beat Kilmarnock. What's your take on that, Ryan? Because obviously the start, for me, the freshness in the team that day, and I think I said it in the chat the other day when you and Alan were on, was for me Liam Scales and Greg Taylor, and that was why Celtic were able to play the way they played, especially down that left hand side. They played with a great intensity, speed. Greg Taylor being able to come in the pitch, Liam Scales carrying the ball over a halfway line, being able to carry the ball further than maybe what Austin Trusty can. He's not as nervous. He doesn't seem as on Saturday. He didn't seem as nervous as Austin Trusty. You look at the way Greg Taylor comes in, Brendan today, and his interview waxes lyrical for I think I counted over 3.5 minutes. I think he went on and on about Greg Taylor's quality and what he brings to the team and everything else. And that's a manager, that's everybody calling, that we call an elite manager, and that's him talking about Greg Taylor and his quality and how he wants him to stay. So Celtic fans are saying that they would just go with the same team. What's your take on that, Ryan? Especially the way St Johnstone set up against us the last time. Would you go with the physicality, against that? Because I think St Johnstone might set up against something similar.
No, I would keep Forrest and I would keep Taylor. No, not Forrest, sorry. Taylor and Scales. I did say to you in the chat, people might have thought that me and Alan weren't praising them, and I said to you before we came on Wednesday, I said after the game, I said on here on Wednesday that they've got to be praised for the game of Saturday, last Saturday against Celtic. They were brilliant. Like I said about Scales, apart from 1 or 2 passes that hit out of the park, it was faultless. It was good. Vickers looked more comfortable next to him. That's not me saying that I want to be here for 3 years and play every week and what I'm more, but you've got to praise when guys play well, and he was good on Saturday. Taylor was good on Saturday. Real good on Saturday. He man of match at the gun. So that tells you that he played well. Well, I know people believe that, I know, but he played well on Saturday. So did Scales. Taylor was good. I think it was for was it Hatate's goal. He was inside and he laid the ball off and Hatate scored. And listen, Taylor's in Scotland. I've said it all along. In Scotland, Greg Taylor's absolutely fine. He'll give you everything in Scotland. He's like Brendan says, it's not just on the park, it's in the dressing room, and you need guys like that as well.
He's got quality all round, mate. He's been a quality professional for us.
But like I says, in terms of like Brendan's, listen, I'm never going to go against the manager. I've got my opinions. What I think we might need better than if it's European side, right? I'm Parkhead. This is when we want to Parkhead boy for. The reason why he's been Kieran Tierney back is obviously the quality side, and he's obviously a Celtic fan and everything else. But we all know that Kieran Tierney potentially will play the bigger games, and Taylor, he's basically saying what I'm saying, that Tierney will play the majority of the bigger games. Greg Taylor might not like that because he wants to play because he's a first team player, but it's a big squad, big season next season. If you get to the European, obviously Champions League, then he will play games, but it's down to Greg to understand that he might not play every week, and that's down to Greg. And the manager said, I still want you here, you're a big part. So the manager's basically saying, you're not going to play in every week, but I want you here. I still want you part of the squad. You will play games beside Kieran. You'll be competing with Kieran, and it's down to they two to decide like who's going to be the main man. That is really what I'm getting for it. But no, in terms of the game on Sunday, JP, I would keep with Scales and Taylor. I don't see why you change it. The two of them were good. There was no mistakes. I know the Salo, obviously the goal, that was their defensive error. So no, I wanna on the two, mate. I wanna change the two at all, mate. No, not at all. I don't really feel on that, but I think as much as I was before the game, I was a bit surprised Scales played. I actually thought Nerofsky would have come back in. But obviously I've seen Brendan's presser, and Brendan says he wanted to play Dane Murray against Rangers, which obviously I'm not going to say how when before the game, but I had a wee inkling Dane Murray was going to be playing, and it turned out it wasn't. So
well, what did I say to you? I said to you when we were talking just before the lineup went out, and I says I've got a feeling Dane Murray might start. I know Naroki started, but I got the team pretty much spot on, apart from Nawrocki started without Dane Murray.
I think we were all surprised. We were all surprised, IP, that he played, but I'm still a wee bit miffed how he's just been bombed back out. Now, I don't see the guy every week training. I don't see him every day. I only see what's in front of me. Now, we can't go against the manager, because the manager obviously doesn't rate him. There's obviously flaws in his game that he feels he can't play consistently or play certain games, but I can only go what I see. And I thought Nerofsky, because of the 2 games he played, well, no, it was Maldini or he wasn't. I was like, well, surely this is where he deserves a bit of, to show us why they paid the money, to show if he, because no fan really, in my opinion, can really say that Rossi's no good enough or he's brilliant. We can't, because he's not played enough games to really show Celtic fans how good he is. It's the same with Gabrielka, Jeffrey Sloop maybe as well. He's only played a few games a wee bit, so we can't make a full judgment of certain players. But on the offside, IP, it's obviously he's no fancy by Brendan. It's as simple as that, because if he was trusted and he played well, he'd have played right away. But he obviously fancies Scales more, and he played well at the weekend, mate. I don't really feel, but nah, I want to change it to him at all, mate. I think I'm probably going to say he might keep day 2 to the end of the season. I don't see, as much as I'm a big believer in he shouldn't move somebody when they move out. He's moved in off script for a reason. Doesn't fancy him. He's put in Scales. He's played well. and it's Scales and Taylor's jersey to lose now, mate.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, I was really happy with the team on Saturday. I thought the makeup of the team and the camaraderie, the chemistry with them all was second to none. It's no surprise the start they make to that game. Players showed a lot of hunger, desire. Players, by the way, and I'm talking about guys that were questioned prior to the game. Players showed their real quality. He's been getting absolute pelters off our fans for a long time. He really, really stepped up to the plate, took the game by the horns, and he just let rip. I thought I'm agreeing with MT Celts. I was at the game and all myself, and I thought Ida made a great contribution, barring a goal. I think that's all it's needed for a big man, really. It's just a goal. And I felt sorry for him when he didn't get it. He just wasn't getting the ball breaking to him that way. But I thought he was doing enough. He was causing a lot of issues and problems. He had a good physicality about him. A lovely, whether people say he meant it or no, I don't care if he did or no. It was a top quality layoff for Hatate to run through. Maeda, I know the goal ended up offside in the long run, but for me that was a superb layoff on Hatate. He was making some good runs either as well. I thought he caused a lot of damage in the game, and then obviously when we changed it, I felt that the game kind of went a wee bit stale, just with too many changes so quickly. But no, I thought there was a real freshness about the team, and I can understand why people are actually saying that they would leave the team as is. I wouldn't have any qualms at all with, but whatever team Brendan picks around, you know me, mate, I very seldom do I ever go, how's he playing and how's he not playing and how's he. I leave that to the manager. That's his job. That's why he's paid the money. But I've heard people's opinions about Nawrocki, and I personally don't think he's done enough. The lads that have been playing around about him, they've all played in a lot of big important games for the team. Nawrocki played a couple of games, if he's lucky. He done okay, he done well, but is that enough to keep guys like Scales, Trusty, who have played in the Champions League, played at a lot far higher levels, and help the team do well in those levels? I don't think so. I think that's the reason, and I think it's no anything to do with his own ability or anything. I think it's just purely down to timing. I think it's just
if Nawrocki had done the things Trusty was doing, Nawrocki would be getting absolutely slaughtered. But Trusty no really.
But he has. Much. I mean, you've even mentioned on the channel, Ryan. He has had a few moments where he's,
because Trusty's 6 million and he's Brendan's man, fans might give him a bit of leeway. But see, has Trusty done enough, really? And majority of his time here.
He's done a lot more than Nawrocki. He's played in the Champions League and he's done well. So Nawrocki's not really had that opportunity in a way. But for me, I think people might, I mean, you think I'm Looney Tunes or whatever. If you're asking me who the best is out of a lot of them to go in beside CCV, it's Liam Scales, hands down, by any means.
So I know it's not a transfer podcast. I'm just, because you've said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that not tell you that in the summer, that being there in the summer that coming up, if that's the standard bearers for us, right? Does that not mean that our recruitment needs to improve massively then?
See, the thing is, right, you say the standard bearer there, Ryan, but you're talking about a guy we're talking about an international footballer here as well.
No disrespect to him. What I mean is, if that's where we are in terms of that's the best centre-back that we can get, the new is Liam Scales. That's not him. This is the fault. Is that no Davino and improve? If I've spent money in Trusty, Nawrocki, Lagerbielke...
Yeah, I've heard that argument as well. You know, people said, last season when we went out of Europe, we can't get into the Champions League with the same sort of team, blah, blah, blah. But we did. We more or less did. We only changed like one or two personnel. And we got to the next stage. So we progressed in the Champions League than we ever did before. We got a bigger points total. And because of the new format, we actually get to another round of the Champions League that we've not even seen for well over double figures in terms of years. So, but it's not a case of we're saying here that can we get better? You could probably pick everybody in the team and go right. You could go and get better than him and go and try and get better than him. It's what makes the team be the team, Ryan. It's what does players bring to the team, and they've all got individual qualities that that's why Celtic are so successful, Ryan. That's why they go on and win trophies and they go and do that, because he brings a different thing for him and he brings a different thing for him. And listen, whether MD wants to agree with me or no, Liam Scales has been absolutely first class for Celtic. You've got to think of where Liam Scales came from. We're talking about a boy no so long ago was in an Aberdeen team that lost to Darvel in the Scottish Cup. Right? He's then turned that around, nailed down a first team place in the Celtic team. Whether people go like that, it's because of injury, because that's how people get in the teams. But when you get in that team, my old football manager used to say to me, see, when you get in that team, you make sure that jersey stays with you. You grab a hold of that jersey and you don't come back out it. Simple as. You make sure you grab that jersey and you don't get back out. Now, whether people think what they think of you for the side, it's totally up to you. We're talking about Brendan Rodgers here. Brendan's picking these guys to go and play these games. So that's not the individual's fault.
I'm agreeing with you, right? But has Narovski not come in 2 games and made the jersey?
I don't think he's done enough to make a jersey.
He was a best defender in the 2 games. And then he's just been... See, now, I'm only talking from a player's perspective, right? Take it from a player's perspective, right? It could be Narovski, it could be Taylor, it could be any player, right? You've come out the wilderness, you're probably... Just say I'm Narovski, right? No played all season, injury issues, been told you need to... He's probably been told to do certain things outside, train well, you need to do this, you need to do that. He's probably done it, he's put him in, and biggest game of the season at Ibrox, Celtic Park, played really well. In my opinion, I thought he played well. Some people said to me,
when he plays, Ryan, right? You look at Saturday's game there, right? When we're all saying the new Scales and Taylor make the difference, and on they come in and make the team.
Mm-hmm.
See when Nawrocki plays, is Nawrocki noticed the way Scales was noticed on Saturday? Ask yourself that question.
I can only go on for... I'm not saying he's better than Scales or he's
no.
better Scales, right? I'm not saying that.
What I'm saying is when we're at the games, right? Does anybody run about you, talk to you and go, well, Nawrocki looks the part and he looks as if he's a main man in there, blah, blah, blah.
But he's not played enough to prove that, though.
No, but I'm talking about the couple of games he got there. Did he have that? Did he have that presence? Is what I'm saying.
But I ain't the only centre-back that gives you that Vickers. The only centre-back at Celtic that you walk away and go,
Scales shows that.
Nah, no for me, mate.
Scales played with authority on Saturday there, mate. He played with a certain authority on Saturday there. Yeah.
If we're talking about the first the only defender that we've got that you go, wow, he's brilliant, he gives you this, he gives you... It's Carter Vickers. The rest of them have all got... By the way, Carter Vickers has got his flaws. They all have, right? That's why they're at Celtic, let's be honest, right? But the only player that you can count on to do everything mostly right every single week is Carter Vickers. They're obviously getting major flaws, but that's why he's not playing. Scales is getting a bit of bomb scare bomb in him, and so is Trusty. The only guy that's basically bomb-proof 9 times out of 10 is Carter Vickers.
And the only guy that scored an OG in the Champions League has been Carter Vickers.
So that's what I'm saying. Realistically, if that's the case, we then need to look at that area going forward, don't we? I think we can agree on that. Do you know what I mean?
See what you're saying about Scales has got that bomb scare. What do you mean by that? Because I've never watched Liam Scales and thought to myself, God, man, he's Eric, aren't he? I've never seen that with him.
Come on.
I've never looked at him and went, he's going to cause a goal here, or he's going to get a ball here, he's going to score an OG.
Last year when him and Lagerbielke played the first 20 minutes, the two of them were all over the place. That Liam Scales was hitting the ball at the park, he was hitting it there, he was like the two of them were.
Is that a game we won 1-0?
It was the game Dessers got tripped with Lagerbielke and it wasn't a foul and the ref gave it a foul. That man, the tournament at back.
Oh, the one, right, aye. They had actually, that's the one Kyogo scored, wasn't it?
Aye, to be fair, the full team like that, so it's not just only two, the full team were terrible the first 15-20 minutes, but there's, like Narovski was the same, Barry, against Hearts, 2 or 3 fair share kicks. I'm oh, Jesus Christ, mate. Like, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes Trusty, listen, we can all sit and say about certain play, like you say, mate, we can pick flaws and everything, but on last weekend, they two were good. Taylor and Scales, really good, and they should keep, the rest of the season. They've got. I think they've got to keep their place now. If that's what's come in and made a difference for the game against St Johnstone, then go with it. Don't change it, because I think you'll probably agree with me on this, mate. The spine of the team, if you keep changing it, you've got to try and keep the same back line probably going forward as if you can.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I know people are saying, Scales was dropped out the team. He wasn't. He was only took out the team when he was injured. That's the only time any other time Liam Scales is come out the team, it's due to injury. Go and check it back. From Brendan's his second spell back, when he got in the team, he's been a mainstay in the team, pretty much. I'm interested, Ryan, I think, with that one, to see if Scales keeps his place, or does he bring Trusty back in?
I don't think he will, mate. I think he'll keep the two of them.
You think he'll keep Carter Vickers and Scales together?
I'll be shocked if he puts on Trusty.
Yeah, because for me, those two work best together. In my opinion, they've got the best chemistry.
Unless he thinks because he signed him and he's 6 million and he's his main man, he might put him back in for I don't know. But to me, the fact that he brought in Scales for an injury and played him, and to be fair, I didn't think he would have played Scales after no playing for a while. And he played that he didn't look like he was injured. So I think Taylor and Scales will play, mate. I don't see why I don't play. No, I don't see why I don't.
Yeah, 100%. Because for me, like I says, people might, people can all have their opinions. For me, for what Celtic do, and, we do it pretty well, pretty consistently. For me, Scales is the best partner for CCV just now in the team we have. That's not to say, by the way, Brendan's not going to go in the summer and try and buy another centre-half to compete with them and come in and put a bit of pressure on them. And by goodness, I hope that does happen, because it's good for competition. It's good to see players push themselves and try and go to that next level again. But for me, just now, I think Trusty's very, very weak off the ball. I think he needs to work on his upper body. I've seen him a few times now being pushed off the ball. When Trusty makes a couple of mistakes like that in a game, I feel it gets the better of him, Ryan. And therefore, he kind of starts to die out the game.
Do you think? I think he's one of the. Again, this is no coming for Brendan. It's coming for me. When what I'm going by what he says, I think he's one of the players that he spoke about mentality-wise to play at Celtic. That's just my opinion. Listen, Austin Trusty can go on Twitter and block me. He can go and block me on Twitter. He can block me and tell me this is not against Austin Trusty. This is just me going by what I've seen from him on the park. Certain players might not have mentally get the mentality to play that. By the way, playing it in Scotland compared to down south, totally different game. You get time on the board down there sometimes to do fancy flicks and make long busting runs and big diags. In Scotland, it's some of these players, again, I've not played at a level of JP, so it's no disrespecting, but some of the players have no got ability that some guys have got, but they've got hunger and they've got fight in them and they've got a bit of nastiness, and sometimes you've got to combat that. And I agree with you, mate. I think we've seen it with Dundee, we've seen it at St Johnstone, so I don't think we're saying anything that Brendan's no seen.
Yeah. I've seen comments as well saying we've got a weak back four, we've got this, get that out your head right now. You're not weak. You're not weak.
Potentially.
You cannot be weak and do what Celtic are doing. It doesn't come hand in hand. You cannot be weak at any part of that game and then go and produce, as Ryan's just said, a chance to celebrate another treble with your fans. Just get it out your head right now. Celtic are entered the total polar opposite of weak. You want to look for weakness, look at across the city. That's, that's what you're dealing with. That's a contrast to what you're dealing with. We might have certain individuals who can be clumsy, and we might have certain individuals who can, but see, when it comes to heart, desire, as Ryan's just mentioned, there isn't a better lot. There just isn't. That's a fact.
There's one thing, JP, that I can only be critical is I think Brendan, I think he'll sort it in summer, if it's personnel or the way we play or the way they set up. But I think set piece and cross balls were no great. I think we can all agree with it. That's got to get better. That's probably the only criticism I can give him, is we just need to defend close.
What do you think that's down to, Ryan? Do you think that's down to? Do you think that's
I don't know if it's the way they're setting up, because I don't know. to some games it looks like they're man-to-man, and then some games it looks like they're zonal.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is, if it's due to that. I generally don't know, JP, because I've always known Celtic to be a zonal marking team. Anytime if it's when O'Neill was zonal marking, but it looks like Brendan, anytime I've seen him, it's been zonal. Stratton was the same. No, but they were all zonal. But I can't remember as I was watching recently, and they mentioned Celtic have done man-to-man this year. So I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if that's the issue with it, JP, or generally because the way we play. I don't know, mate. I don't know how you feel on it. I don't know. I
Well,
generally don't
I
know.
don't know, because in certain moments, when, you know, especially Celtic Park, mate, when we're at the game and you see them and you go, wow, that was a good header away there, and we looked right on it, and then there's other games when you go, Jesus, we've not won a header yet, man. You know, the team keep beating us to the ball all the time, and we can't even get the second ball, and we can't pick up. So you're kind of like, is it down to communication? Is it down to maybe lack of communication? Is it down to positional play? Is it down to, you know, in that transitional moment, like you says, in terms of setting up? I don't know, but I agree with you, mate. I do think it's something that Brendan will, well, he's probably already trying to do it now as we speak, but if I know Brendan, he's, you know, he will address those issues. But in terms of, I mean, to say that, you know, Celtic are weak, you know, it's just that you couldn't be any further from the truth, in my opinion. Because that, you know, you don't deliver what Celtic have delivered over since Martin O'Neill, really. You know, you don't deliver what this club have delivered if you've got any sort of weakness in your game. You just don't. Stevie, no, you're right, mate. We're going for a treble. No won it yet, but many other teams are going for a treble, mate. None. No up here anyway. So we're the only one left that can do it. Some teams only going to win a trophy. We've already won 2. Just about. I'll say it. I'm going to hang my hat on that one and say 2, because there's only 15 points left. We're 15 ahead. We have about 40 odd goals ahead as well. So all we need really is a point in my next game. We've won the league. So in my opinion, we've won 2 trophies this season already, with a chance to win a final third. So there's no money. It's whether we've won it or no, mate. There's no other team in Scotland going for a treble, mate. It's only Celtic. Why do you think that seems to be the you know, a regular pattern? It's not because Celtic have got a weakness, that's for sure. Because you know, weakness is for other teams, not for Celtic. Celtic are strong-minded, strong-willed, and they've got some really good quality about their squad as well. And obviously adding to it with a man who has now got to the semi-finals with his team in Arsenal, and Kieran Tierney. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe he. I mean, I heard Brendan talking earlier, Ryan, saying he'd spoke to him, and obviously he told Kieran that some of our wingers are getting a bit fearful of some of the stories they've been hearing about Kieran, that the ones that are maybe no privy to what Kieran's about. But aye, mate, there'll soon be one season training. I think it's like somebody was saying, it's like 7 more games to the wee man's officially playing again. So it's one or 2 training sessions, mate. Our boys like Yang, and especially guys like Jota, Kuhn, they'll soon find out what Kieran's all about.
I've seen a lot. Listen, it's all about opinions, and I can totally get that fans are want to calm their expectations of him in case he gets injured, in case of that, in case of this, right? I know he's not played a full 90 minutes in a while, and I know he's not played with Arsenal every game. I get it, right? But he's still training. By the way, if people think that Arsenal are just doing wee jogs at training, he's putting himself through hard training sessions with Arsenal. They'll be doing high intensity drills in some capacity. Even at this stage of the season, there'll be some bit of hardness session in there. So he's still training at a high level with these sort of players at that tempo, at that pace. The way he is with Arsenal, he's still fit to be on the bench. He's still fit to come on. He started recently for them, so he's still playing with Arsenal. We don't know how many games he's played or how many. He's still in an Arsenal squad. If Arsenal didn't think he was good enough to play with Arsenal, he'd be not even in the bench. I know he's leaving next year, but he's still good enough to be here. If Arteta thought he was no used to him, he'd been the squad. He'd been the bomb squad. He'd be away training with the youths. He'd be training the reserves. He'd be in the stands. He wouldn't be on the bench and be put on at all if Arteta didn't trust him. So I get the fans want to take away their expectations, and I don't want him injured and don't want. But he's been fully fit since, is it October roughly? It's now April. He's no pulled up with a hamstring injury. He's no pulled up with a knee injury. He's no pulled up with an ankle injury in training or anything like that. He's been fully fit. So touch wood, everything's plain sailing until he comes to us, and he'll be fully fit, pre-season, ready to go. So I say, JP, I think I've spoken with every single podcast since we've come on here. People say that he's maybe not getting Kieran Tierney at his peak in terms of how many games he's played recently, but in terms of football and ability-wise, we're getting a better Kieran Tierney in terms of experience, in terms of the ability that he's obviously get better as he left us. I can't believe we're getting him. And by the way, listen, in a year's time, people might clip this and go, we told you he was getting injured, we told you he was going to flop. Listen, that's fine, but nobody can tell the future. Kieran Tierney might not get injured again in his full life, but he might. Carter Vickers might go away and get injured for a year, or he might play in the next 5 years foot getting an injury. Nobody can see the future. But the fact that we get him in a free transfer, yes, he'll get paid handsomely. Yes, he'll get probably incentives. He might get bonuses. He might get a Bosman fee. But if we're going to buy him, it sounds like buy a quality player, his ability-wise...
He'll be the Niara's next.
We're going to need to spend 50, 60, 40, whatever million pounds to buy a player like that. So, I don't know what you feel on this, JP, but I feel Brendan, as he says, Kieran will fit into the system. Kieran, he'll play his role. I think there'll be a backup plan in terms of if Kieran's playing, they might not play that inverted role. They might just play the traditional 4-3-3, whatever it is, and just play. I think Kieran Tierney is good enough. People might say he's no. I don't think a player of Kieran Tierney's stature has to learn the inverted role. I think he'll just, a few sessions, boom. This isn't a guy that's coming up for a youth system. It's not a guy that's just signed for a foreign country. This is a Kieran Tierney you're signing. It's a guy that's played at the top level for the last few years, basically his full career. So, and to tell you what, JP, Celtic Rangers games, Hearts games, he's getting, I'm going to say it, fucked right in. He's not going to be pulling out tackles and you're getting, listen, that could be an absolute, I could look stupid here in a year's time, right? But I can always talk about my feelings right now, and I'm like you, JP. I can't wait to get here. I can't wait to see him at Celtic Park again. And that's hopefully the quality that we're going to add this summer. Because if that's some of the signings that we're planning on, then what else can we look forward to? Potentially, as Stevie says, we're still need to win the game and then get to the final. Potentially win a treble, and then your first signing's Kieran Tierney. I think it's just, we need to, as much as maybe a wee negativity on maybe Scales, Taylor, Yank, whatever, right? But the full grand scheme of things, we need to be all full scale positive at the end of the season, positive in the summer. How can you be positive?
It's going to
by the way,
it's going to be amazing when Celtic announce it, when Celtic actually officially announce Kieran Tierney. Then a safe pyro display with an explosion going off at the front of the Green Brigade with him with a megaphone singing, "Don't worry, be happy."
Even if disaster happens, right? Well, I don't want to say disaster, but even if the doom and gloom happens, you don't win the semi-final and you don't win the treble, right? But see the fact that you win a double and then you're signing Kieran Tierney. Brendan might sign a new deal. Who knows, right? He's still here next year anyway, right? It's all positive, man. You've got money in the bank. You've got Barryfield going up and running. So, obviously, listen, take away, like, you still need to go and hopefully progress the club. And listen, I get it, but we've got a major platform to take this club the furthest we've ever been in every competition. We're probably, JP, you might agree with me on this, I don't know, but this, in terms of financial, players-wise, potentially, no players-wise in terms of like Larson, but in terms of everything about the club right now, it's probably the best Celtic's ever been. Ever.
Yeah. This is the best I've ever felt as a Celtic fan. And it's also the best Celtic side I remember watching. This is the best Celtic team I remember watching. And I thought Martin O'Neill's side was a top side as well. But this is a fantastic Celtic side. No, I've got my doubts about that one, Rob. With the inverted side of things, I think that's why Brendan. This is what I'm. Before I come to this, Ryan, before we finish up, mate, give me your team prediction for the game on Sunday.
The same back four. And Sal in goals. I think it'll be the same.
Thank
I
God
think
you
it'll
said Tim,
be
man. There's no stop
Engels.
being.
I think it'll be Engels, McGregor, and Atati. I think it'll be Jota, Kuhn, and Maeda. I get sort of bit opinions, mate, but I thought Ida wasn't up to much at the weekend. He had one or two things he was involved in was good, but his overall general play doesn't merit playing on Sunday. To be fair, it doesn't really merit playing the rest of the season if he plays like that, because I don't think he was great at all, mate. But
Who's that?
I've still either. I don't think he was great at all, mate. I get so bit opinions. You're different from me, mate. But other fans have thought like you. Some fans thought the way I think. I didn't think he was involved in much at all. I didn't think he was great. Nice wee flicks here and there, but his overall general play, I think for me anyway, he's going to improve majorly. But I think another pre-season with Brendan, people have been talking about Trusty, Engels, Idar and stuff like that. If anybody's going to progress these players and make them better, it'll be Brendan. So another pre-season with Brendan, full pre-season, try and get the message across, set one to Glasgow, and let's just hope in the summer. If you've got any negatives on the players, then hopefully in the summer they start the season well and they go and push on. But this isn't a time where we batter Radar or Scales or Engels or Tati. This is where we all be trying to push them forward, get the best we can to go and potentially win the treble, get the league under wraps and go and win at Ibrox and just buy. There's still loads of things, there you go. Still loads of things to end the season, semi-final, hopefully, final. Get the most points we can in the league, score more goals, win at Ibrox. There's still loads to play for, so some of these players will play massive parts, mate. But no, that's my team, mate. I think it'll be Maeda, Jota and Kuhn. I know people were talking about Kuhn. I actually thought James Forrest played really well. It could be a shout, but I think Brendan will go with his best team, mate. And I think that's, as it stands right now, I think that's his best team.
Yeah, Forrest was instrumental as well, mate. It's amazing the quality he has, Ryan, isn't it? For such a he's such an intelligent player, James Forrest. His touch and his layer. I thought actually him, Engels, and Alistair Johnson were sublime in the first half, walking down that right hand side together.
I agree
Especially
with you
Engels.
on
Engels' passing range is
I agree
unbelievable.
with you on Forrest, mate. She's again, mate. I'm maybe not his biggest fan, but obviously spoke to Baz a lot about him on here and off camera with Baz, and Baz rates him very highly, and he's and so I've got to go on that. I can go on my opinion, but I can go on if somebody professionally is telling me things, I need to go right. I'll think about it. I need to think about it because I can only go on what I see, and I think sometimes
Yeah.
you flat to deceive, but at the age he is, and the fact that he's came for another injury, he's come in. I thought it was good, JP. But the thing I'll really agree with you, mate, is it's his brain, the way that he walks about the park, the way I think he's getting older now, mate. So he's having to adapt, and I think his brain's working. That's what's making him still play as well. It's in there, mate. So I know I agree with you there, mate. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, 100%. Celts 88 turn around and says that Suns went to your heat, JP, and Invincibles with leather. This team, absolutely not a chance. Not a chance. The speed this Celtic side have, the Invincibles would need a nebulizer to keep up with them. You think about who was, I mean, that Invincible team was a fantastic team. No doubt about it. But the speed that Celtic have got, Kuhn, Maeda, you know, Engels' speed through the middle, absolutely tremendous. Then you look at the fullbacks, Alistair Johnstone, Jeffrey Slip's quite fast as well if he plays. You look at Hatati's quality when he shows that ability on Saturday there. Not a chance is that Invincible team leather in this team. Edward, honestly, like some of the guys in that team, you picture Boyata and Simunovic up against Maeda. And by the way, there wasn't a VAR back then.
I actually think it'd be really close, mate. I don't think it'd be. I think it'd be very close, mate. Because Sinclair was rapid, Edward, Dembele, Roberts. You know what I mean? You need Scott Brown, McGregor, Armstrong, Christ. that's hard, mate. Oh, Barry, I'd be a good debate to put up, Barry, for a podcast. That'd be a good
listen,
debate.
no, 100%. Listen, by the way, folks, this is what I'm talking about. How privileged we are as Celtic fans. This is how we're talking now.
I think
What team's better?
Angie's team would be closer.
The Seville team are far superior. I mean, by the way, this team's a lot slower. That team's a lot slower, Plunge, as well.
In terms of
we the good man on here, Alan Thompson. If Alan Thompson had to chase my head just now, Alan Thompson would need 2 nebulisers.
That's a Seville team. The only way I think the only way that, to me, the Seville team is like the Lisbon Lions to me. That's what I would say, right? Because obviously I was the bomb.
The problem is you're spoiled, right?
I'm spoiled in a way, right? But I'm young, right? So I didn't see. I can only go to Lisbon Lions in terms.
I never seen it, by the way. I know. I look as if I was in Jimmy's class at school, but no, I never seen
I can only go on history, right? But for my eyes, the best team that I've seen in terms of individuals would be that team in terms of quality wise, right? Most of them are all unbelievable quality, right? But if this Celtic team was to get to like a final like that, then I'd need to go, here. That's the team now. I think who is it? Who is it was talking about? I don't know if you watched the.
John, don't be nuts. There's no way it's disrespected, mate. That's why they're called the Invincible team. They stand alone in that bracket, mate. There's no other team. There's no other team ever did it before them. So they'll always be remembered as the Invincibles. No, don't ever think, mate, that team's been disrespected.
This is actually put up
a wee bit of technology in what I'm saying here as well, but just for me personally, the way the modern day game has went, for me personally, this is the best Celtic side. I remember the fast, the speed, I'm going on like John Collins here, the passing, the movement, the tempo, the intensity, the running, everything involved in, what this team brings.
By the way, you could probably sit for an hour with all the commenters and the viewers.
Ryan, see Celtic, mate, think the amount of days out they've given you, mate, as a fan.
That's what I mean, mate.
I know you're younger, I know you're a bit younger, right, but think of all the days out they've given you. Think of that. I mean, there's John saying about the Invincibles. Think about that moment of Tom Rogic for a second here. And tell me how you felt in that moment, mate, watching that happen. Because see when that happened, everything just slowed down in that moment for me. And it's the most elated I've ever felt.
It's the best moment individually I've ever seen and felt. Back in mind, I think I was a two. Again, I don't promote alcohol, I don't promote anything, but I generally think I was in a 2-day bender after that. I think I went out for 2 days. I think I've been hanging at China, but I think I was out for 2 days after that. I think I was out, so I was amazing, mate. And by the way, you can go out and drink and no drink. I'm not saying that. I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying what I done. I think I was in the Saturday, Sunday. I think I was in Monday Club and also I think I had a bit of weekend for that. But no, listen, this is why I keep saying, I'll say it to the day I snuff it. Every treble, every double, every league, every game.
Well, there's a comment there for Big Rab, right? He says 0-3 team is unbelievable. Sorry, mate, no chance this team is close. You're not saying that when this team left the treble. So, when this team left a treble, and I'm saying when because I've got every faith in them to do it, right? So, see when this team won the treble this season, all the criticism individuals have had and all along the way, and people saying this about this one and that about that one, and think about the night we get humiliated over in Dortmund. Nobody would have foreseen this coming at that moment in time. Celtic have been remarkable to win the treble. I mean, the 0-3 team never won anything. In reality, they didn't. But they took us to a European final. But they never won anything. So to say that this team are nowhere near. When this team won the treble, they're going into the history books. Simple as.
In terms of, if you're going to see if you take away the accolades, right? I'm probably going to agree with that.
Can't agree with that, Plunge. I'm really sorry, mate. I can't agree with that, mate, because you've got to beat what's put in front of you. That's a very silly. For me, that's a very silly statement to make. There's no challenge. Of course, there's a challenge. There's another 11 teams in the league that challenge you every week. By the way, you're saying there's no challenge, mate. You think of the physicality challenge that they've got, physical challenge to be fit and available for every game, the mental challenge that they've got to go through that grueling season, mate. They've also combated a full Champions League campaign in amongst us as well. So for me, I don't buy, Ryan, I don't know about you, mate, but I don't buy those. I just cannot buy those narratives, man.
No, you've still got every game's a challenge. You still need to beat a team. Listen, Johnstone, they beat us. They put up a challenge and beat us. So
Yeah, 100%.
we can
mate.
listen. We don't like getting beat, and it's because of who we are and the quality we've got. When we get beat, it's why are we getting beat? And listen, that happens. It's we don't like getting beat. If you like getting beat, then football is definitely your sport.
Yeah.
I used to hate getting beat, doing doggies at training. So, you know what I mean? So that's just, I know guys who have played with, listen like that.
No, I'm not buying into this. There's no challenge. See, that's degrading. That's degrading for Celtic. So you're saying Celtic are only winning it? By the way, Celtic have won the treble each and every season. The seasons that Celtic have won the trebles, they've been back in the league. People were questioning Celtic not being able to win the treble when they won in the league, when the new Rangers were formed.
See, winning doubles and trebles, if it's that easy, how come when we weren't great in the 10 season that we lost to 10?
There you go, St Johnstone won the 2 cups for crying out loud.
So, listen, I get, Plunge, I get what you're trying to say, mate, but there's every game's a challenge. Every game you play is a challenge because you've got another team in front of you to beat, and you've got another 10, 11 teams in the league. You've got, it's to win a league title.
No, it's no less a challenge. It's no less of a challenge either. It's an that's absolutely. You think about this team and what they need to go through, and then the pressure for the fans that come with that as well, being in that role, manager, players, staff, you name it. The things that they've got to go through, the hurdles that every team's got to follow every season.
Stevie, you're right. Brendan Rodgers is made winning doubles and as well. We've made it like Charlie Mulgrew says.
Why? But Brian, the question is why? Because he's elite at what he does, mate.
Oh, aye, but
that's why he's got an elite standards.
Celtic have made, like Charlie Mulgrew says, basically since O'Neill era, bearing the odd league title here now for them across the water. Celtic have dominated Scottish football for the last 20 odd years, right?
Yeah.
And even Gordon Stratton done really well here. Everybody's, apart from Tony Mowbray, realistically, apart from Tony Mowbray, every manager's basically won a league, hasn't they? Tyler won a league, Stratton won leagues,
John Barnes
won leagues, Ange won leagues, Brendan's won leagues. That's all it is, isn't it? Stratton, O'Neill, Rodgers, Delia, Mowbray. That's it. 5 managers, isn't it?
By the way, people criticise Ronnie Delia and say, no, he wasn't a good manager. He won 3 trophies in 2 years. That's a chance.
He would have won a treble if it.
He would have won a treble if it wasn't for the cheating that was going on at the time. Because that's all you can call that. And Jesus Christ, Stevie Wonder could see that was a handball.
Listen, I'm not you. I'm not you, JP. I'm not going to say it.
But I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into that narrative of it. You know, it's a less of a chat. That's just, for me. That's just degrading what Celtic have achieved, and it's just putting down Celtic. Why people look to do that is beyond me. No, Celtic only won that because there's no challenge. I mean, come on, man. The amount of games that Celtic have got to play.
Craig, you're spot on, mate. I'm not even money favourites. Have you beat them, mate? You're right. Just ask me Alan about Shelton, Craig. You're spot on, mate.
That's why they two have got long faces, Craig.
Good horses, just tired horses.
Just tired. The two of them walking about talking to John McCrinnick as if he talked to them.
Me and Alan's but just good horses, just tired horses. No, but he's right, JP. See if you think it's. That's why recently, that's why I think recently, because of the league's been finished. I
always chuckle, Ryan, when people go like that. I could be a Celtic manager.
No.
See if anybody wants a great insight into how good a manager you think you might be. Go and watch Charlie Mulgrew's podcast with Open Goal just the other day and how easy.
What about that? I was
how management's no for everybody.
I was at a speakers do with Commons and actually Alan Thompson and Chris Commons. It was the year we won the Invincible season, I'm sure. It was a season where I think Commons went to... Was that the season Commons went to Hibs, wasn't it, on loan?
He went to Hibs on loan to help Lenny,
Right,
didn't he?
so it was the end of that season, and Commons was like, look, people were saying that I was told I wasn't playing. He says that I hurt my back, and that done me in pre-season, and I really struggled. He says, Brendan never told me that I wasn't playing. He just said you need to find your place as everybody else. He says, do not believe the media and narratives and this and that, right? And then he was talking about how Commons thought he can manage that team. He says, in my head, I thought I could manage it because he thought they were that good. He says, we were that good, right? He says, Sinclair, and Belly, Brown, McGregor. He says, we were that good, right? And I thought I could do it. And he says, I seen the detail that Brendan does. He went, no chance. He says, he's in early doors, every training set. Now, by the way, this is me saying for what comments, because I was at a event with him. Obviously, it wasn't filmed in that. It was, you pay your money and that's your night, right? And you're privileged to wait, they tell you how the detail that Brendan does, everything's detailed for tap to bottom, training sessions, this timing. He says, it's not as easy as you think. He says, I thought I could, this is common, says, I thought I could do it. And then he says, I went, nah, I think I'll leave that to Brendan. He says, it's the detail that he gets through. He says, it's unbelievable. And that's him winning, by the way, every week. And that's the detail he's still doing. So,
Aye.
do you think you can just manage? By the way, that shows you how hard it is to manage at amateur level, at top level. And I mind managing Celtic.
We comment if he Celtic 88. Plunges on the next flight back to Springburn from Monaco to batter you after that rant, JP. Listen, by the way, if Jake Paul and KSI start doing YouTube videos and all that, I'm on YouTube with us, so I'll be happy to chuck some lights up in the morning. We'll make something happen there. Not a problem.
We'll need to start a GoFundMe and charity tickets for plunging JP up the Morven.
Aye. Ryan and Alan will be standing outside. I'll get my man here plunged to say about you. He's a boxer. We can see that taking all right boxes in. The boxes are shared bit dip dab for Big Alan. That's his special offer with the Scotto scratch cards coming up for Easter holidays.
By the way, see, Easter eggs and all, man. See, when it's October, man, and Easter eggs at £2, man, they put it up to £8 for an Easter egg.
By the way, I was in, what shop was I in the other day? I can't remember. It was one of the supermarkets, and remember the pound Easter eggs?
Aye, the wee tiny ones. Aye.
They're up to $2.32.
OnlyFans.
An OnlyFans square go.
There we go. By the way, look, this is why I love these guys on the podcast.
By the way, me and Plunge done it George Square, and the rest of you can protect the statues.
This is why I love the podcast. They're giving us new ideas. That's a new idea for the half-10 show. Get you and Plunge, and I'll get you subscribers. You need to pay for it. Oh, there we go. G-Doc.
We'll get Dale for the Celtic Supporters podcast as a non-biased.
There we go. See, G-Doc, you need to come in for the idea guy in the podcast for me, man. You need to get me some sponsorship or some deal for the half-10 show. That's what an idea. Get you and Plunge to eat cold beans and then do an OnlyFans thing.
Aye. Plunge will only get angry if I stand my Mark McGee face on.
By the way, we have went from team selection to talking absolute gibberish, you and me.
That's G-Doc's fault. He just brought up an idea there. No, my team's exactly the same. I'll be really surprised if he starts with the same front three. I think Jota and Kuhn will come back into the team, and I think it will be Sinisalo, Alistair Johnson, Carter Vickers, Liam Scales, Greg Taylor. I think the midfield will be Rio Watati, Engels, McGregor. I think it'll be Jota, Kuhn, and Maeda. Just quickly, Ryan, I know we've been on a wee bit tonight. Just quickly, obviously, a topic I did want to Greg Taylor, new contract, my man. How are you sitting with that one? Are you all for it? Like I says to you earlier, mate, listening to his presser, Brendan's waxing lyrical about the wee man, so I'm really happy for that, actually.
I'm happy with it in terms of because we can go and sign a £5 or £6 million play for a club and then they might not be good enough. Like they did Burnley, £3 million, Bolingoli. So we know what Taylor's all about. We know that in terms of maybe European level, there's maybe limitations there. But I think the idea is Tierney will probably play their games, and I think Rodgers has basically said that he's going to be the second choice. That's what I'm getting. And Craig knows that he might not play every week, but in terms of familiarity, in terms of the Scottish League playing, if say Kieran Tierney plays the European game, Taylor could play the weekend, and we're not really doing too much in quality. Obviously, in terms of players wise, listen, there's a gap in quality, we all know it, but in terms of playing the system, being at a club, being here, knowing the league, if it goes with it, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I know some fans might go the other narrative is, well, it's lazy recruitment. Can we get somebody else? No, so we'll just give Taylor a new deal. So listen, there's two sides of that, people will say, but for me, Kieran Tierney will be the main man when he's fully fit. It's a long season, as the manager says. Greg can come in certain games and play. He might even start in front of Kieran Tierney in certain games due to situations. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with JP. But I'm agreeing with Rodgers that Greg's got to think it, because this might be his biggest pay deal that he might get. So can he get a bigger deal somewhere else and play first team football at the age he is for his family? Then he's got to look at that financial side as well. Or does he want to stay here, get a decent enough wage as he might be getting 20 odd a week, who knows, still a massive wage. But as Brendan says, if he stays here for the next 3 to 4 years, committed to it, then he's going to be here, because are we going to get a big move for him? Probably no. So Greg's got to think of that as well. But in terms of back move, there we go, right? No offence to Tony Ralston, I thought it was good when he came on against Kilmarnock, but Ralston to...
Oh, his goal was a peach.
Aye. In terms of Ralston to Johnson, I think the quality gaps are pretty substantial. But I think with Taylor, I think you know what you're getting. You're comfortable with it, and right, that's fine. Taylor's playing, that's cool, right? But so I think overall, JP, it's not a bad move. Again, I'm not going back on what I've said. I think for the European level, definitely, I think Tierney's got to play, because I think the team's definitely quality wise with Taylor in Europe against the bigger teams. But overall, JP, I think it's sensible, and if Greg's for it and the manager wants it, then I'm for it, mate. So ideally, if I'm being honest, I would like just to go and buy better quality, if I'm being honest, yes. But are we going to get somebody Tierney to play second choice to somebody like Tierney? Let's be fair, no, because you need to pay too big wages. It's not going to happen. And it's similar with Johnson and the side with Ralston. We might need to go with Ralston again, because can we go and spend 6 million for somebody to sit behind Johnson, and it's probably going to happen. Can we have ideally, you want a JJ and AJ situation? Yes, of course you do, because it's fine. And in terms of the quality level, does it go down? No. But I think we're going to get that, JP. Nah. So I think it suits both parties in terms of cover and coming in and helping us. So if it happens, JP, then I'm happy with it. I'm not doing good about it. I'm no, brilliant, he's staying. I'm happy with it, because he's a steady Eddie player for Scotland, and he can play with Celtic. He knows what it's all about. He's got a winning mentality, familiarity, and I'm for it, mate. I know you'll be for it, because I know you're a big fan of him. So, I don't see any reason for it, Jay. I don't see any reason. Put it this way, JP, if the elite manager like Brendan's want to stay, then no matter what I think of him, it's just my opinion. I've got to go with it. But the manager says he's managing my club, and if he's seen him every day in training, then as much as I might not be his biggest fan, I need to go with a guy who's got the qualifications, who knows him, and managing the team. And if he wants him to stay, then I'm happy for him to stay.
Yeah, we comment there for the Celtic Supporters podcast. Said used to have a belter of a haircut between you. He's talking about me and Plunger, but I imagine.
I was going to say,
no,
Dale, I've had a haircut, mate, so I'm glad you've
quite
noticed.
disappointed that you brought that up there. To be fair, I'm quite disappointed that was mentioned, because I lost my haircut. I lost my hair when I was 16. What a card game that was, by the way, I tell you.
hard paper round. That's what Barry, that's what's happened to Big Alan. That's what happens when you put cones in your head.
See when you bang a thumb with a hammer, how come you hop about in one leg?
Why isn't you bang your elbow? You're like, no, your elbow's short. Barry, that's not a funny bone. That's a painful bone. That's not a funny
Aye.
bone. Why do they call it a funny bone?
Don't know, it's like one of the ones I know. If you're running down the stair and you fall and bang your arse and you get up and run about 80 miles an hour right along the road, man, it's hysteric. Why does that ever happen? It's like a reaction.
By the way, that I know. Why do they call your arse bone your tailbone? I've not got a tail.
I know.
By the way, this is meant for a safety podcast to 24/7 A&E.
Aye, no, it's like I say, it's one of the ones.
I don't know if that's you saying I'm funny, G-Talk, or I'm ugly and you laugh at me, but either way, mate, I'll take it as a compliment because you're helping the Love 10 show, mate, so I need to agree with you, mate. You'll probably see me to man, you're ugly, I'm sorry, mate.
Aye. Aye. G-Doc's that guy that shouts abuse at you in the middle of Buchanan Street and you're half pissed and you're walking up the road trying to get a fish supper to get home.
Throws that chip, Ryan, throws that chip.
Aye. But that's funny if you turn around and went, F off, I'm starving.
We'll get your in chip.
That happened to me in Holiday. A few years ago. Funny story. We're standing outside a chippy on Benidorm. And there's a big hen party walking towards us. Me and my mate are standing. We're steaming. We've been out all day. And my mate's standing eating chips and curry sauce. And one of the lassies that was at the hen party, she's come here. And she's went like, my mate, oh, give one of your chips, huh? And he's like, no, pal. No, I'm starving. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing these, right? So I've not said anything. And one of our other pals, I went, hurry up and get a chip, stop being stingy, blah, blah, blah. I think they were off of Falkirk somewhere. It was because we ended up chatting away to them. And this is why I know people from Scotland are totally different in terms of their mindset than other people across the globe, right? And this is why, this will go to my grave with me at the time. So me and my mate are standing there and the next minute he's like, no, I'm eating my chips, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. So one of the other lassies for the back, she's just shouted, her name was Margaret. The lassie that asked my mate about the chip in the first place, she shouted, Margaret, just take the chips off him and kick his buzz. Honestly, mate, it's the most sincere cry you'll ever hear in your life, man. My mate went from being steaming to being sober, going, I think it's time we need to get a taxi, big man, and get to for here before we get lettered with all these women.
It's one of the places where you need to be there to actually realise how funny it was.
It's one of those scenarios, aye. It's honestly, it was like a big team of women all coming towards us, and it started off Giza chip to just kick his balls and take them off him. Absolutely tremendous, frightening. Funny enough, I was eating a burger, and they were at me, and he's a bit of that. And I was like, hey, I ended up getting one of them the rest of my burger because it was like, I'm not wanting to do in here. Do you know what I mean?
That's you don't want your boys putting.
I'm not wanting my boys kicked here. And she says to me, I'd have knocked him out there, and I went like, aye, with your BO.
Oh Jesus, man.
But aye, just totally, it was one of the funny moments, but my mate wasn't. By the way, that's how I realised my mate was totally stingy, because he wasn't parting me his chips. My mate, do you know, this is the same guy I'm talking about, a different night out back here. He bought a 12-inch pizza and a bag of chips. And he came out of the chippy, and he's eating this pizza and chips. And I'd a cheek to say to us, there was a couple of us with him, and he'd a cheek to just say to us, he's what a chip.
Then he offer you a bag of it and just give
Then he offer us a slice of his pizza, man. I think it's a 12-inch pizza.
See, to be fair, man,
He's one of the guys I know that would just fold 2 slices of girl and eat it like a sandwich.
But to be fair, see, if I'm drunk, mate, I'm not sharing food. What a chance of match?
I think there's a lot of people like that, by the way. I think there's a lot of
no
folk
chance.
like that. But not very quickly before we finish, I know we've went on a wee bit tonight. Greg Taylor, new deal, makes a no-brainer for me. It's totally get it done. Get it done as quick as if you can. If there's this talk about Greg's potentially doing a U-turn and Celtic are about to offer him a bumper new deal or whatever it may be, get it done. It gives the lad stability as well for his new young family. You seen him on the pitch last week with his baby. You're not putting a baby grow in the vein, man, and if you're not staying either. Come on, you're not putting a Celtic baby grow in that baby if you're not planning to stay. You just can't do that. Surely they must be talking about staying now. Because I was looking at that last week and I'm going, that's a Celtic baby grow, that Waynesville. So I actually thought, see when he came out the tunnel, it came up in a big street, I actually thought it was a doll. It looked like one of my daughter's baby Annabelle dolls he was holding.
It's just
And I
obviously
thought, and she's tiny. She's absolutely tiny, you know. But aye, 100%. I'd be all for it. I'm definitely all for it. And it's a deal that I would love to see happen because I think he's a great servant to the club, and I think he does well when he plays, and he's helped the team bring a lot of success. And if we win the treble again, he's been instrumental in why we do it. You heard Brendan saying today he's the best. He actually mentioned he's the best. Well, on Saturday there, he said it's the best he's ever seen an inverted role being played. The way he done it, and he puts demands on others as well. I like that with Taylor. And he also likes getting in about it. He might be smaller and people target that. See a lot of bigger guys, just ask it, by the way, just ask a boy Muller at Hibs how competitive Greg Taylor is. So every time he plays against him, he leaves one on him all the time. He always leaves an elbow in, or he makes sure he gets to him, or he knocks him off balance. So he might not be the tallest and the largest in height stature, but I think the wee man makes up for that for his overall quality. But for me, personally, it's a no-brainer, Ryan. And what's your score prediction for Sunday, mate?
I don't want to say we're going to hammer them because if we get beat, I'm going to look an absolute silly cookies. But no, I'll be respectful and just say go and get a victory, JP, but I would expect us to get a couple of goals. I think it just depends how we start the game as well, mate. If you start the game like we did at the weekend, then again, don't want to be disrespectful because St Johnstone are still a full-time team and they're still in our league, but if we turn up like against Kilmarnock, it could be more than that because Kilmarnock are better team than Johnstone. So I think it'll just depend how we turn up, mate. If we turn up the way we can, and we did last Sunday, then St Johnstone are going to be in for a hard night, a hard evening. But yeah, I'll go modest and I'll say 3-0. I just think just due to the width we've got, the big parks, it'll be. I think I'm going to assume it's going to be a bit of a floodbath. The park due to the weather, the rain.
Yeah.
So I know obviously they've had the facilities to.
By the way, it's to be nice on Sunday as well. It's meant to be 14, 15 degrees and sunshine,
I know it'll be, obviously, Hampden will be pretty wet. I know they've got a good drainage system. It's been fitted recently, a new drainage system in years gone past, so it might not be as wet as I think it might be, but it'll be good to play the ball about and play fast football. So everything's turning up to be potentially a good day for Celtic, and let's just hope. Listen, we can all say this and what we think, what we want to happen, what we hope to happen. It's down to the players that pass the white line. Brendan can put his team out. He can say what he wants. He can do tactics and do shape. As soon as you pass that white line, it's what the players do in the park, mate. And it's down to them. Hopefully, he's a good day out Sunday. Hopefully, a good day out, in May as well for the cup final if we get there. And we'll see what happens, mate. But I'm expecting us to hopefully go and get a victory. But like I said, make sure the players to put it on the park and hopefully they can do proud once again and we get to our cup final.
Yeah, 100%. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We can make that happen and give the fans another day out at Hampden. For some clubs, they don't come around at all. They don't come around very often. So yeah, it's always good to when you get to that stage because you know you're either in the semi-final or the the final, and you've got an opportunity to then go and win more silverware to continue this unmatched success that we're all witnessing just now under Celtic, and a chance to what is it 100 we could 120 is it 121 trophies now the club. That's
roughly, aye.
so what we only now 119, 120 trophies. What would we end the season with? Yeah,
give or take that, aye, roughly, aye.
yeah.
I should know that. I do know it, but it's escaped mind.
I think it is 120. So we're on. No, sorry, it would be 121. I'm right because it's 119 just now. We won the League Cup, so that was 119. League would be 100. The league's 120, so 121. So yeah,
aye, because it was equal, and then aye, that's right,
aye. Yeah, and it's nice to see we've got a tourist amongst us tonight in the comments as well. But as I say, I mean, that's all. You know, that's all these guys have got now. They can. That's where they are. I mean, their seasons get that bad that they've got to come on and watch something about Celtic because that's all they'll be watching now on the telly. Surely, because there's nothing else to go. Yeah, thanks for the view, 100%. Yeah, keep the.
Thanks for spending your Friday night typing in Celtic on the Strip TV. Thanks a lot.
Keep pushing the views up for us, and
remember, like, subscribe, comment, share it, get it out there. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it so much.
Share it onto your Celtic family.
Remember, we're on TikTok as well. Get us on the TikTok and comment. Cheers.
Yeah, we're on all platforms as well, so fire in and get it on. But
we don't mind a bit of banter, but stuff like that's uncalled for. So just go and talk about that on other platforms, please, if you want. But no one here. We're a friendly bunch, and we don't mind banter. But you can comment and like and whatever. But
listen, see the thing is, mate. See the thing is as well, Ryan. Some people just can't help themselves, mate. They've got this. I call it Tourette syndrome, mate. That's basically, that's basically what.
Maybe too much Hadji Haggis last night, and just thought, I'll go and join the boys tonight. But that's what it is, isn't it? But also doing all right. They're not bad, so aye. Good Friday and all that, isn't it? So we'll let it slide, but can't well.
Somebody's just upset because they never get a paella on the way home last night.
Shakira!
Aye. Aye.
No,
he was asking about the jukebox. He went up to a guy in a bar and says, "Is that Johnny Rotten?" He says, "I don't know. I've only used it twice."
Anyway, that's Thursday night's done for him. Anyway, we're going to watch Hollyoaks off. I don't know, catching up, Neighbours catch up or something now. So
well, that's it. Aye, BBC iPlayer. They're not even able to watch sports. They don't even want to watch sports scene. They're been to watch on that.
Aye, because that only shows the good bits.
That's what I was going to say. It only shows the positive bits and the good bits. They call it highlights.
Aye, highlights. Aye.
They go and ask for highlights, man. They get a video of all haircuts.
Tell you, man, the next folk came on here because they'll just get absolutely pummeled if they come on here with me and you. So enjoy yourself, big man. Enjoy your fill your boots. Go and get a cup of tea and watch William Hull Sports Scene or something. I don't know. Fire away. Enjoy yourself. Knock yourself out, son. End the show with a laugher. Why not? I think JP's internet's frozen. You back, Reg? Oh, your internet frozen.
I'm back with you, mate. Aye.
You back? I thought you left a wee chuckle there. You come back.
No, brought
I think the internet's a wee bit gone, mate. Your internet's breaking up a wee bit. No, you're back now. Your internet was gone there, mate, again. Your internet's gone, mate. Well, I'll end it, right? Because your internet's gone, mate. Sorry about that, guys. But again, I'll end it. Obviously, the big man's internet's chucked it. But again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We are on, like I say, to Marky Boy there. We are on all platforms: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, everything you can. But please like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, please do. It helps us get out there. And it helps us obviously bring content to you. Is he back in again? There we go. No. But until then, guys, hail and take care and enjoy the weekend if you're going out. If not, enjoy the game and we'll see you all on Monday for the dial-in.